Before language, before machines, there were senses.
Sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell shaped reality itself. But what if senses were no longer bound to the body? What if experience could be transmitted like data?
This is the beginning of brain-computer interfaces.
Technology designed not to replace the mind, but to speak its language. Every thought is electricity. Every sensation, a pattern waiting to be decoded. BCI translates biology into information. Without surgery, without pain,
or through living chips growing alongside neurons.
the five senses become digital pathways. Sight is no longer limited by eyes. Images appear directly inside the brain. Sound is felt, not heard. Touch becomes simulated pressure. The brain believes the skin. Because sensation lives in neurons, not in the world. Taste becomes memory reconstructed.
Bitterness, sweetness, depth.
Smell is chemistry translated into code. You smell rain without clouds.
You feel wind without air. You taste coffee without lips. Reality becomes optional. Experience detaches from location. Senses can be shared. One person's experience felt by another. Learning becomes lived experience. Skills are trained through sensation. Muscle memory without movement. Memory becomes accessible terrain. Smell unlocks forgotten worlds. Each sense has a neural address. Artificial intelligence learns the language of neurons, filtering noise, preserving meaning. Because senses are data. And data must be protected. Connection must remain voluntary. The mind chooses when to open. A world where experience is unlimited. Nature restored through perception. Stress dissolves at the neural level. Pain
is regulated. Limitations rewritten. The brain adapts. Biology and technology synchronize. A new layer of reality emerges. Sensation becomes universal.
This is only the beginning.
To transmit sensation, the brain must be translated.
Each sensation has a signature. Vision becomes spatial data. Sound becomes temporal rhythm. Touch becomes pressure and texture. Taste becomes balance. Smell becomes memory encoded. Artificial intelligence learns from the human mind. Not to control, but to interpret. The system adapts to each individual. Shared sensation becomes possible. Location no longer defines experience. Heat exists without flame. Cold without ice. The brain accepts the illusion. Because emotion follows sensation. Memories can be replayed. Even those once lost. Smell anchors identity. The brain rewires itself. Healing accelerates. Trauma is processed safely. Pain is modulated. Intensity becomes adjustable. Suffering becomes optional. Performance improves without risk. Experience without danger. History becomes lived.
Space felt before launch. Precision becomes critical. Because errors feel real.
Safety protocols intervene. The mind must be protected. Privacy becomes biological. Control remains human.
Reality is still here.
But perception has expanded. Urban stress is redesigned. Nature becomes accessible.
Healing accelerates through sensation. The nervous system stabilizes. Aging loses its limits.
Distance becomes irrelevant. Distance becomes irrelevant.
Moments become collective.
Senses synchronize globally. A planetary nervous system emerges. Humanity becomes interconnected. Empathy increases. Understanding deepens. But new questions arise. When sensation is perfect and reality begins to compete, the brain cannot easily tell them apart. Disconnection becomes difficult.
Because sensation defines truth.
The artificial feels safer.
More beautiful. More controllable. But the nervous system has limits. Overstimulation exhausts perception. The real world feels empty. Natural sensation weakens.
The brain expects perfection.
Dopamine learns new shortcuts. Sessions grow longer. Bodies separate. Minds merge. Presence becomes ambiguous. Attachment patterns shift. The brain adapts in unknown ways. Thresholds rise.
Intensity must escalate.
Pain loses meaning.
Danger feels distant.
Reality loses authority.
Memories begin to blur. What truly happened? Contradictions emerge.
When signals conflict, confusion follows. The brain shuts down to survive.
failsafes engage. Not all minds adapt equally.
Society begins to question.
Where does experience become exploitation? When sensation becomes a product. Access becomes unequal. Reality divides. Pleasure is optimized. Meaning erodes. Resistance emerges. The right to feel naturally.
Control becomes political.
Sensation reveals thought. Privacy dissolves. The mind becomes vulnerable. Unauthorized sensations spread. Limits are ignored. Addiction takes hold.
Homeostasis collapses.
Knowledge, not escape. Art. Art explores, not overwhelms. A fragile equilibrium forms. The system breathes again. Coexistence replaces domination.
Agency is restored. Enhancement, not replacement.
Integration replaces excess. The mind adapts once more. Wisdom grows from failure. Every advance carries risk. Design follows biology. Technology becomes invisible. Connected but awake. No longer dominant. The human core remains. And sensation finds its place. After balance is restored, curiosity returns. The question is no longer how to feel, but how far feeling should go. Five senses defined humanity for millennia. But the brain was never limited to five. Hidden capacities begin to surface. Signals, once invisible, become intuitive.
time itself feels different. Emotion becomes perceptible. Consciousness synchronizes. Meaning emerges without words. Expansion becomes optional. Limitation becomes a choice. So does transcendence. No single future remains. Across distance, sensation travels. Home is no longer silent. Loneliness dissolves. The planet is felt as a whole. Harm becomes impossible to ignore. Empathy scales globally. Violence loses its abstraction. Power meets sensation. Ethics become experiential. Machines learn empathy. But never possession.
The line is preserved.
Education begins with awareness. Wisdom guides expansion. Experience becomes heritage. Silence regains meaning. The simplest sensations endure. Reality remains the foundation. The best technology disappears. Presence becomes primary. Intensity yields to coherence. A species self-aware.
No longer dominant. No longer central.
Something deeper remains. Is consciousness more than sensation? Or is sensation its gateway? Perhaps the universe feels itself through us.
Every mind a node.
Every experience a signal. And silence the highest resolution. The future is not about more sensation, but deeper awareness. And the choice to feel or simply be.